Hey you guys, welcome to my first Let's Play. This is Space Engineers. It's a alpha release of a game that seems to be in quick and swift development. It releases patches every Thursday, so every Thursday there's a new feature. It's pretty cool. A lot of people say it's like Minecraft in space. I kind of buck that idea. But it's pretty neat. You know, you wander around and find resources, you mine them, you build stuff. There's PvP, which is really cool. It's pretty limited as far as the features go right now. There's a lot of rough edges, but it seems to be like a pretty good game. It's fun, you know. Multiplayer needs some work. I'm sure you're going to see a multiplayer Let's Play on my channel as well. We'll see how that goes. But as single play, as far as the options go, I always turn everything up, especially for Let's Play, because it could be kind of grindy and slow if you have to weld and grind really slow. So I like to speed things up a bit so you guys can see more stuff in a possible 15-minute episode. I don't have a timer going right now, and I don't plan to have a timer. But in the options, I have all that stuff turned up. I have oxygen turned on. I turned off sun rotation because I just think that's unrealistic. And as far as asteroids go, I have that turned, or excuse me, meteors go. I have that turned off also because the meteors specifically target player items, and I just don't think that's fun or realistic. Things should be a little bit more random. So here I am. I start off in my little tug. This is all I have, but I have the basics. You know, I have a little bit of uranium, some O2, and inertial dampers off, which I should turn on before I slide my butt right into something. But this is a pretty neat little game. You know, you design your own spaceships and build them. You can interact with other people if you like. There's a couple different multiplayer options in this game. It's been out for a little while, so you know people watching this Let's Play may already have an idea of what's possible in the game. But for the most part, I'll pretend that you know you don't know everything. So, so basically, you start out with a very low amount of fuel. It's better now than it was in the beginning when they first released all this stuff. Also, there are random encounters in the game. They have cargo ships and stuff like that pop in. You can go after some of them are aggressive, but you can go after them and get some resources and stuff like that. Grind them down for resources, or repurpose the ships for your own evil intentions. Also, I have to note that I use DirectX 9 for my play because the lighting is better. It seems less glitchy to me, and the game runs faster. You can't see it, but right now I'm getting 70, 75 frames per second, which is pretty good. Not too bad. So anyways, I'm going to park right down here as close as I can and see if I can't use the gravity field for my starter ship to mine some stuff. Oh, looks like, whoops. Let's go into the G menu and character tools. Equip some of my basic tools here. I'll need all these. I don't know why they start you off with stuff in that bar anyways. I think they should start you off with your tools in the bar. It'd be more convenient and more, it would help people just starting out and so on and so forth. So this is my ship. It comes with the basic things I need. A little bit of fuel, a little gravity gen, a place to respawn if I have to. Wow, I'm probably wiggling around on like crazy to you guys. This is a refinery. Helps you refine the ores that you get into ingots, and those ingots then get used in the assembler to build items that you need to build other items, basically components. I'll go up here, hit K on this little window right here, go to production. And these are the components that you can build from the ingots. You can also disassemble components that you have if you have excess to get ingots back. Now, Up here, you can build player tools, which include oxygen tanks that you refill in an oxygen generator. And when your oxygen gets down to about 30 and you have one of these in your inventory with oxygen in it, it will automatically refill your oxygen and take some oxygen from the tank. Now over here you have the components, the base components that you use to build other things. Over here you have small blocks. These are all small blocks. Now, these two buttons right here are different than these in the way that these are the end components, but if I click like build a camera, it'll try to build the components that I'll need to have in my inventory to complete building these components. It doesn't actually give you a camera, so on and so forth. Now, these small blocks are typically used, actually I think they're exclusively used for small ships. You can't use them on large ships, which is the newbie ship that I just started in. The boat, the tug, whatever you call it, lifeboat, is a large ship, so I can't really use these items. But I can use them when I build a small ship. Now, over here, this is for stations. These components, some of them are similar to over here. These are just small versions. These larger versions are used for stations and large ships, so I could, build a camera and slap it on this large ship. It'd be pretty cool. But basically, I'm going to go out here and see if I can't mine. Let's check our gravity field to see how... Oh, yeah, see, they used to have this jacked all the way up, but I'm going to just jack it all the way up because now I'm sitting on top of uranium. Doesn't matter. It kills your fuel time. So X to turn on your jetpack and come down here. So you can see I'm holding my welder. This is used to build blocks. My grinder is used to take apart blocks, and my hand drill is used to mine. By hand, of course, in case you didn't get the obvious part of that. Now, if you right-click, you just destroy stuff. That's no good. That's fine for rock. Like, if you have a lot of stone, which seems to be really popular. Iron also seems to be incredibly popular. You can just, destroy it and not have to worry about all sorts of stuff floating around. Now, when you left-click, you get these little rocks floating around and stuff like that, and you have to pick them up with T, which is perfectly fine. You get to run around and do all that stuff. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but it's uranium. I can't see a darn thing, actually. So I'm going to hit L to turn on my jetpack lights, which really doesn't help at all. But I'm just going to sit here and carve out some of this stuff. Now, I have my inventory turned way up, so I can hold 4,000 liters. And I'll just chip away at some of that, and then look down here and try to find these black rocks on the black background. It's easier to pick stuff up if you have your jetpack on, which again is, X. Your drills, your hand tools, and your jetpack and your lights and all that stuff, that takes energy out of your jetpack. So you got to make sure that you monitor that and keep that, filled up and so on and so forth. If you don't, then you're in deep trouble. Also, your O2. Let me pick up these few rocks, and I'll show you where to get O2 in the beginning of the game if you're not... Whoop, there we go, a little world save there. I have autosave on, which is horribly inconvenient, but, I found it useful. Now, this is the O2 gen. It's not hooked in through what they call the conveyor system, which you can use to hook everything together so you can access all your combined inventories and stuff. But in the beginning, when you start out in this little jalopy, you can come in here, hit K, grab yourself some oxygen, You just grab yourself an oxygen tank, and then you get a couple of refills while you're out, running around like a nutcase. But but let's see, where was the hole I was digging in? Was it around? Because I don't think it was, way out here. Here it is. So anyways, yeah, we'll just chip away and get some uranium. And so the basics of this game is, mine, get the stuff that you need in the beginning, get a nice healthy thing up. Once you get relatively to a comfortable spot, you want to build yourself a base or a larger ship or so on and so forth. I have a couple of ideas for alternate ways to play the game, and some people that I'm going to be playing with. It won't so much be static Let's Plays, maybe guest spots, videos that I record on so on and so forth on the channel. But, mostly for your entertainment. I think it'll be really neat. Also for my entertainment, I get the good goal of this is to not just entertain you guys, but also entertain myself. So let's see. I'm not full yet, but I'm gonna go up here and I'll show you what you do with these pebbles once you get them. By the way, doors are the Antichrist, because for some reason 90% of the time my head is too fat to get through them, and I kind of have to fly at the floor in order to get them, and twist and turn and all that other stuff. So this is your refinery. Once you hit K on that little conveyor access port right there, you want to take your unrefined ore and drop it in there, and it'll start refining. Now, to let you know, if you want to see how much energy you have, which this boat uses a small reactor, which takes uranium as fuel and so on and so forth. But the gravity generator takes up an enormous amount of power, and I could optimize it to but I don't feel like it right now. I'm kind of lazy. But if you go here, you'll see that my fuel time in the lower right-hand corner is 2 hours. Now that I'm refining some uranium, that uranium is it's not going to go right into the reactor, but that uranium is going to I can grab that and I can throw it in the reactor and I can increase my fuel time. So I got 2 hours to mine and so on and so forth, which is great. Also, I've played a lot of single-player and multiplayer of this game. One of the first things that I'm going to do is rename my medical room to be something unique. I'll just call it Med Bay, which is easier. And then I'll share with my faction. Yeah, I may or may not have people coming in, play with me and so on and so forth. But the ship says it'll be deleted. I think I enabled that option, delete starter ships, because I just think it's kind of cheaty to, just have a bazillion starter ships and so on and so forth. Causes a tremendous amount of lag in the game anyways. So I just really, I want to keep everything optimized. I will be using a open source tool to try to keep the lag down on the map during this little Let's Play. If this Let's Play continues, I may start a new map. This is really about a test video, and I want to make sure that everything performs well, the audio levels are good, and everything sounds good. So we'll see. I could just decide I want to go play another game, or I doubt it, though. I like this game, and I've been playing it a lot. I have a lot of neat ideas, and, just want to play with other people and build stuff and take over the galaxy. Have fun. The PvP aspect is limited right now, and they're supposed to be coming out with planets. There's a similar game to this one called Empyrean, but it has planets and stuff like that, but the multiplayer is just horrible. And they actually, their multiplayer is limited to people on your local area network, which is just, oof. Because you kind of want to get out there, be able to play with other people. And also, this game is moddable. They released the open source to this game, and they opened it up for modding, so you buy it through Steam, and people have been releasing mods like crazy. Right now I'm running vanilla. I'm not even running the scan mod, which I usually run the scan mod, but in the beginning I think that's a little unbalanced, because like I've told people that I've introduced to that mod in multiplayer, the mod can be very neat, but very unbalanced. And the reason being, it makes a game feature unbalanced. And the reason being is because it allows you to easily find ships in what they call the exploration mode. And that exploration mode is the game goes out on Steam, and it finds user built ships, and it randomly drops them into the world every once in a while in certain areas. And they're owned by nobody. You can just waltz right up to them and take them, like battleships, stations, and meteor bases, and so on and so forth, like stuff like that, you know. But the thing is that you can get a tremendous amount of resources. You can get a jump start in your game. If you're new, I would recommend, doing exploration. But for just the regular game itself, I mean, if you happen across it, yeah, you happen across it. But using the scan mod, you're going to find a ton of those, and they create lag when they generate. If you get a ton of them, especially some of them with pistons or rotors, and then you get in them, and you're trying to fly back. They just this is a pre-alpha or an alpha game, so I mean, like, you're gonna find a lot of problems with this game. Landing gear are kind of goofy. They explode a lot. Very dangerous. They can be like little ninjas, especially if you're in multiplayer and you try to walk past one or interact with a landing gear that's just sitting there. Sometimes they'll just reach out and slap you and kill you. So if you're worried about dying, don't play this game, because you will die a lot in this game from some of the most ridiculous and random things. I've seen people die for more. Well, mining like this, a rock will come out and just bite them in the face, and just horrible. Just horrible. And it is what it is. It's an alpha game, and that's why they have respawn points. The game is still incredibly enjoyable. Just, you gotta see it in the right context and expect, that you're gonna die, which is fine. Just enjoy the game and, respawn and keep going. When you die, you lose all your stuff in your inventory. Now, in single player, there's talking about losing inventory. In single player, when you log out, you don't lose your inventory. When you log back in, your inventory is right back there. God, that refinery's loud, ain't it? But in multiplayer, if you don't log out in something called a cryo bay, you do lose your inventory, and that's just kind of a big old pain in the butt. But I kind of, when I'm playing multiplayer, I try to either empty my inventory. It's always a good idea to empty your inventory into a container, or log out in a cryo bay or a cryo tube. I'm not sure what they call those again. The exact phrase. I just call them the same thing. Same general idea. Cryo bays, cryo tubes, yada, yada, yada. But, I'm full. Okay. So I have it set to delete these respawn ships when I log out. I'm going to slap this stuff into the refinery. And, I guess it is sucking the uranium straight into the reactor. That is a good thing. I didn't know that it did that. So I have 8 hours instead of 2 hours. Fantastic. Alright, so let's see. I've got refinery. I've got uranium here. Well, heck, I can just go ahead and build a base like right here if I wanted to, couldn't I? Let's see, where's the sun at? Where's the sun at? Alright, well, let's do this. Let's move out of the way of where I've been mining. And let's see if we can find someplace cool to put a base. I mean, I can build on the outside of the asteroid, considering I don't have meteorites enabled, right? Yeah, that'll be fun. Alright, so I'm going to basically tear down my ship. I'm going to use the parts from my ship to build a base. And there's another nice laggy world save. So basically, I'm going to take the non-essential stuff and just cut it off. You can see the animations for disassembling blocks and stuff like that. Now, the good thing about this is that it's whatever you disassemble, you get all the parts back from it. I hate dented blocks. It drives me nuts. You get the 100% back, so that's a good thing. Now, maybe I should move a little bit farther over here so the sun is directly overhead and there's an epic butt ton of iron right there. And see what we can build right here. Now, to build a new base, you come over here, or a new station, you come over here and click New Station. And I always like to stick it halfway in a thing, inside an asteroid like that, so it's kind of anchored. Now, that doesn't seem very Good enough, right? Solar panels will line up eventually. And go to all blocks. Let's grab some of these blocks down here, the different shapes. I think I'm really going to only go with square right now, and I'm going to disassemble the important things from my ship and put them on this platform. But we'll go ahead and place some blocks and get the basic skeleton of a platform going here. Now I know this just seems haphazard and I'm just throwing blocks, anywhere on an asteroid and stuff, but the randomness is kind of cool. It'll challenge my imagination later on to build something more interesting. So what I'll do is I'll just build it anywhere, right? And just get something big enough to fit all my stuff on right now. Do. It's not too much of a pain in the butt. Now these things look cool like this, but they cause your video card has to render every little part. So unfinished blocks cause lag. Apparently, they take resources. When you fill the blocks, it doesn't have to render. It has to render less. So it's always nice. Now, where did I put that? There it is. Let's go get my ship, move it a little bit closer, and let's go in the easy way. Yoop. Sunroof. Look, I'm styling with my sunroof. We'll move it a little bit closer, that way I can part it out easier. Do. Now the controls in this game, it's W that's forward, it's S that's backward, it's A that's left, and D that's right. And that's strafing for A and D. But now Q and E roll you. C is down and space is up. Like jump in every other game, and C is for crouch or whatever. I don't know. It works for when you're in a first person mode. It's crouch. So that's how I'll go with it. Crouch down. I like to repair it beforehand, so there's no chance of me getting a scrap metal, which I have to refine into iron ingots again and then rebuild the stuff. But yeah, neato, huh? So I'm sure a lot of you have probably already seen people play this game, and I can cut a lot of this stuff out. It's... Ooh, there's a private sale. That's one of the random things that, that's the lowest level randomly spawned ship, cargo ship, that the game will spawn in. Has one turret. It's an interior turret. You can run it out of ammo real quick, and take over the ship. Has solar cells and all that other jazz, which is really cool because solar cells reduce the amount, since it creates fuel from the sun, it reduces the amount of uranium your reactors use, because if you're using solar, it uses that over your reactor's resources. So we'll just get some plates here, and now these blocks, remember, you don't actually build the block in the assembler. You get plates, and then you come out and you build a block out here, and then you add the components with your welder and build it all up. I'm so happy that they increased the welding. They gave you the option to increase the welding speed, because these things take forever. Like, blocks take forever to put together. So basically, I'm just going to try to finish some of these blocks. Get enough room for... look there. Jeez, that world save is just laggy as heck, huh? And then I'm going to get enough resources, enough finished space to put stuff down on. So first we'll move our non-critical stuff. Well, actually, let's get rid of this door. Well, okay, let's leave the door. First thing we want to get rid of is the cargo container, because the cargo container is going to serve us very well down on the our actual new base, because as we take stuff apart, and if we don't want to put anything back together down here, like put the same thing back together, then we have to store the materials, right? Or we'll just get full. So we'll grab a small cargo container, which is what I just took apart, and since the materials are all retrieved when you break something down, I could just put it back together down here. And there we go, we got storage down here. Now I can get rid of this door and which doors are great for resources because they take like one of like everything. So I'll just double click and store all this stuff down here for when I want to use it later on. Now let's see. So we want to have our refinery and all that other stuff down there, but we just don't have the space finished yet to put it down there. Look, there's a little dinky. So we'll just start disassembling some of the less critical stuff up here so I can get resources to finish blocks. And let's see if we can finish a 4x4 for our refinery. I love the graphics in this game. The graphics are just awesome. They're not overly flashy, but they just look neat. Let's weld some of this back to normal and see if we can... whoops, that's still messed up, huh? Let's take some of this. Now, there's other modes that you could start in this game, and they're pretty neat, too. There's one where there's a crashed red ship, and your job is to rebuild the red ship, which is really cool, but I haven't played it yet. So, okay, what will be, will be. Alright, we need just a couple more things to get that little area finished. Now we're gonna have to have a little area for our assembler and our refinery. So what we'll do is you can place things on unfinished blocks. So I'll just do that for now. And then the first thing that'll come down here is my assembler, and I'll grab this. I'm a little bit full on stuff. I'm gonna go put this down so I can see if I can grab it all. Drop off my oxygen because I think I'm doing okay on that right now. So I'll come up here. Oh wait, is that? No, it's not connected to the assembler. Alright, so I'll just grab this, disassemble that. Now if you look at my lower left, you can see my volume. That's my current inventory. If I disassemble stuff when that's full, then I'll just drop stuff on the ground, which is annoying. Get an assembler, and we'll get it set up right where... I think we have to turn it around, don't we? Whoops. I think we have to turn it around because I think the refinery's little door is on the back left. Anyways, what's going to happen is the refinery's going to sit on top of this, and since those conveyor doors allow you to take stuff in and out, they'll automatically convey stuff from the refinery to the assembler as the assembler requests it. Now to get my refinery down here, I'm going to have to take off more stuff first. So let's take this stuff off and make sure it's all going to be still connected. And there's my oxygen generator, which is also going to be extremely important. That provides me with oxygen so I don't die. I'm going to drop all that stuff in there. Let's see. Now I could potentially move my med bay down there. Oops. Ooh, there's no up and down in this game. It's kind of hard to keep yourself oriented for when you first start playing, but get yourself all dizzy and get vertigo and stuff like that, but whatever. Not right now. I'm just going to get some energy. Now, let's see. What is here? Geez, that autosave is laggy. Alright, so I kind of want to... Let's move our refinery last. So let's see. We'll do the reactor first, which always sounds like a bad idea to me. We'll move the reactor first. So we have our reactor. Go into the G menu, grab a reactor. Bam, slam it right there. Come down here. Let's see where we can stick it. It's out of the way. Now, do I want to... Eventually, I want to have the conveyors go to this. So let's try to OCD it and get it facing upright. And we'll do the conveyors down eventually, probably. I know there's rock in the way, but we can always clear that out later on. At least for now, with a reactor, all it has to do is be attached to the station to, and I'll use this word a lot, convey electricity to the entire station. So there we go. Now we have power down there. And we want to be quick about this because this could be an absolute disaster if we don't get this right. So now we have got to move our med bay. And our med bay is very important. If you don't have a med bay, then you can't spawn here. And that could be just an absolute disaster. Let's see, do I want to put it over there? Or do I want to put it over here? Let's just put it somewhere. How's that? Bam. Alright, so, by the way, if you've got a bunch of stuff and you're running back and forth, it can be a pain in the butt. Best way to stick it in, double-click it real fast. That'll put what materials you currently have in your inventory completely in there, clearing out your inventory, so you can go run and get some more. So I grab the rest of that, I come down here, stick all this stuff in here. Well, see, welding's pretty quick when you jack it up in the settings, which is awesome because I just hate standing there welding away. Alright, so now we have a lot of stuff in here that we're going to just want to yank out because this can be attached to the med bay. So when you go to the med bay to get power, you can also get oxygen. You get your oxygen refilled. So we're going to move this oxygen gen down there right now, and then we'll have all the time in the world. So we'll go to G, come down here, we'll grab an oxygen gen. Bam, slap it right there. And then just stick it right on top. I'll just build this. Now see, there's a conveyor door on the bottom of the oxygen gen and on the top of the med bay, which makes it all convey. There's that word again, huh? Convey oxygen to the med bay. Now we'll put the ice in here. The oxygen generator uses ice to make oxygen, so you need a supply of that. Right now we've got 2K, and that should last us long enough to take all this stuff apart. So let's take off a few more of these little frivolous things that we won't possibly need on a station, like a gyroscope. That helps you actually turn your spaceship. If you don't have a gyroscope on your spaceship will not turn and stuff like that. Since we don't need one down here, this is extra materials that we can use for other things, like making a small gyroscope for when you make a mining ship. So now we're gonna start grabbing this refinery. Well, at least grab what we can in the first load. You notice we can't carry it all, so you don't want to overfill yourself. And then go into the G menu, grab a refinery, bam, put it right there, and then right there. This is the front of the refinery. There's a door down there that will interface with the assembler. So when the refinery refines stuff, it'll go straight to the assembler. Now I may move my reactor, so refined uranium will automatically go into the reactor. Whoops, darn it. And I forgot to be smart about that and empty out the refinery first. So now stuff's floating around and I look stupid. But let's see. Just throw that in there, and go get the rest of this stuff. Now to pick stuff up or to interact with stuff, and try not to bump it because it'll go everywhere, John. Now to interact with stuff or pick stuff up, you hit T. And to get an incredible amount of lag, enable auto-saving. So, alright, so that's good. So now we have that all working right over there. Well, it looks like it's hanging off. So let's take this out of here. Now we can use this to connect ships too. Usually it attaches to conveyor tubes, but you know what? I'm going to drop it right here somewhere. So if I have a ship with a connector, but I don't have my conveyor network set up or anything, or I don't want to use the buggy landing gear that explode or disconnect or move around, I can use this to dock my ship at, and it'll stay there for however long they have power. So, bam, that's put together. We have a lot of thrusters to take apart, and they take a lot they have a lot of resources in them to move, so that's going to be a pain in the butt. Alright, can't fix any of that junk. So let's take this collector, which I have never used collectors in my games. Never. I just don't. I'm sure they have a use, and sure eventually I'll use them for something, but I just haven't seen a use. I'm more about function than anything else. Like when I build ships or all that other jazz, build a base, I go for function over aesthetics. And after I finish with function, then I go for aesthetics. Did I just disconnect this whole side? Yeah, I did. I is smart. So now I gotta get this stuff taken apart quick so it doesn't float away. Alright. Store all our junk in there. Oh, and this is disconnected from the disconnected part. Now, as far as I know, I can tear apart 3 small thrusters before I have to dump my cargo so I can grab more. Yep, bam. See? 3. You learn things when you play this game for a while. So there we go. Alright, so let's take the rest of this apart so it doesn't float off into oblivion and we lose a bunch of resources. Theoretically, you can lose everything except for your power, your med bay, your oxygen bay, your refinery, and your assembler, and still be okay. Because then you can go out and just mine more resources and process them and do all that jazz. And then just put everything else back together. I'll look forward to this thing being gone. Actually it's not, I can't really say that. This ship is actually pretty neat. Ooh, my energy is low. Now if you look over on the left side, you'll see my energy's in red and I need some more. And also my oxygen's pretty low. It's about to try to refill. So I'll just go like this. Bam, you see my oxygen go way up and you see my my energy starting to go up slowly. That's from the medbay. And since the O2 gen is connected to it, that's why my oxygen is refilling. Pretty neat, huh? So now I have now I can go about my business. So I'm gonna keep taking things apart here, and for now, I just got to get this thing taken apart as quickly as possible, so I can, because it'll be deleted if I log out. And this episode is probably getting a little bit long, but it's the first episode. It's the premiere. Oh, that didn't sound too cool, huh? So I'm going to grab my gravity generator, which is always neat because instead of jetpacking around on your base, you can always use gravity. And for gravity, I'll just stick this thing over here for now. Okay, let's see. Get that put down. Like I said, when you deconstruct stuff, you get 100% return, so you can just go ahead and deconstruct something and then slap it down somewhere else immediately, which is really neat. So there's gravity down there now. Let's get rid of the rest of these blocks. Start taking out some of these engines. Alright. Jeez, that world save is horrendous. And I'm full. So, we'll dump some more stuff in here. So you can see I've got a ton of resources in here now. So I'll be able to use those resources to build other things. Actually, you know what? The main concern of pretty much anybody just starting out in this game is to get someplace secure and safe, and then basically build a mining ship. Look, another random cargo ship that the game spawns in it's a commercial freighter. They're actually pretty big. If I recall correctly, they have quite a number of guns. They have like 2 or 3 or rocket launchers or something like that. Yeah, I'm not very good at attacking those cargo ships, taking them over. But I always seem to make it. If I want to, I always seem to make a small armored pod and go after them with landing gear attached to them. And some of them are booby trapped, which also stinks. they mostly, I think, they're all booby trapped in a way where they have a warhead in them and a thruster pointing at the warhead. And I have weapons enabled, by the way, on this mod because I just think it's why not? I mean, if things have guns, they should shoot you anyways. Oh, I'm full, and I just see if you're full and you keep grinding. I'm talking to you guys and not paying attention. Things just drop. So, anyways, they're booby trapped with warheads, and a thruster's pointed at them. And if you turn on their inertial dampeners, they just explode. So, success! We have completely taken apart our little newbie ship. So no more newbie ships for us. I'm hoping there's going to be no unforeseen circumstances. Barring unforeseen circumstances, I guess is the correct term. So we'll put down the flight control that we took out of there too, because sometimes it's fun just to sit there at the little computer station and do stuff. And I lost 4 interior plates, but it still works. So let's come in here. I have 4 interior plates. Now I can click and drag with the right mouse button, and that way I can just pick a certain amount. I'll come over here and finish it just because. And we can sit here, and when you sit in anything, it gives you energy back. So you can see my energy going up, up, up. And there we go. We have full energy. Now you hit T, you're back out. I've got to finish this amount. We'll expand a little bit more, maybe even make a mining ship. But for now, this is the end of my first episode. I'm not sure how long it was, but we'll see. And I hope everything came out great. I'll watch it before I upload it on my new channel, and we'll see how it goes. So, peace and hair grease, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And I don't know why, but everybody says it on all their YouTube channels. If you liked, like. If you want to see more, subscribe. And I welcome your comments. Yeah. So have a good day.